Hello and welcome to the most censored channel on YouTube Ireland. You're very welcome to XTV Dublin, where we give you 15 minutes of what's going on around the little planet called Planet Earth. You're very welcome to XTV Dublin, Nibiru Ireland, by the way, 2020. And I hope your Wednesday is going well. And today on the virtual TV up here, we've moved from hell to heaven overnight. And I'll let the TV show you what's going on for the next 14 minutes. Anyway, has anybody noticed how the shift is starting to take place all over the world? And everything is starting to change. And today on radio in Dublin, on a station called 98 FM, we've got leprechauns in Leprechaun Ireland wondering, when is the barber shop going to reopen? When is the local little shop going to reopen up again? And Trump's America, they're stepping everything up. And we can see this all over the internet. And once everyone has the app on their phone, then G5 takes over. And then you're one of the stars of the movie 1984. And you're going to hear a lot of 1984 over the next couple of weeks. At what stage are the sheep going to wake up? At this stage, I hope they all get loaded up into the cattle trucks and get slaughtered. Who needs the sheep? We don't need sheep. Not on planet Earth. So today we say goodbye to everyone in Gmail. I hope you enjoyed censoring the emails and you enjoyed telling your Silicon boss about the Grim Reaper, Paulie. And everybody probably wants to know, what does the G stand for in Gmail? Well, today, with Paulie's magic wand, the G stands for goodbye. All the best. Yeah? Goodbye. That's what the G stands for. See, Paulie has made the monster Goo Goo disappear. Just like that. Like that. With the magic wand. And all you need to know, ladies and gentlemen, XTV Dublin at yahoo.com. XTV Dublin at yahoo.com. And of course, I'd love to read all your emails. Let's have a clean slate, as Big Toe Terrier said yesterday. And thanks to everybody for sending in your messages. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's video. I wouldn't say the Silicon Clowns did. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, the good news about yesterday's video is Mr. Ike. There's thousands of Mr. Ikes now around the world that don't swallow MSM BS. Or the narrative, as he likes to call it. Well done again. Well, what's wrong, artificial intelligence, YT? Did I hit a nerve yesterday with Mr. Ike? Yeah, I hope I did. Maybe it was the virtual TV in the background. Anyway, you never know what's going to be on this television up here. You never know. Whatever's in the news. Anyway, I hope today's video hits another nerve. And you can see by the numbers again yesterday. I hope everybody's enjoying the game that I'm playing. I hope you are playing the game with me. With the magic wand. 110 views yesterday. So I guess with the virtual TV today, I'll probably get 90. You never know what's on XTV Dublin. And Paulie the Grim Reaper is delighted. Because now I have a few VIPs watching. They know who they are. And they're listening in. I was even asked, why don't I do a podcast? See, Google, unfortunately, if you knew what Paulie gets up to on the phone and the emails every couple of days, the massive amount of organisations that I send the emails to and the 2-minute presentation, you'd be shocked. Shocked. Now, you don't think the Grim Reaper's just a painter through the lockdown, do you? Lockdown is for prison. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the historic recession of 2020 and the news. Britain, yesterday, became the first country in Europe to confirm more than 30,000 Silicon-19 deaths. President Donald Trump even visited Honeywell mask factory in Arizona, and he ignored the guidelines to wear a mask. Now, if that doesn't speak volumes, don't ask. While the UK and the US allege attempts to hack Silicon 19 response operations, in Ireland, Ryanair's O'Leary slammed state aid junkies Lufthansa and Air France. And go in and search for that and you'll find some information. While the Italian hairdressers are angry that the shops have to remain closed. And will a Silicon 19 vaccine be accessible to all the rich people first? The privileged few. That's what they want to know. A New York City subway system went silent this morning as part of a plan for some sort of normality. And they've a round-the-clock system to shut down the trains for cleaning at any time. The trains, which had been running on a reduced schedule since late March, are now going to be stopped from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. each day for cleaning. Police officers escorted people out of Brooklyn's Coney Island station, the end of the line for several trains, and told them they would have to board buses to get to their destinations. While cleaners then jumped onto the trains carrying bottles of bleach, and then they boarded all the trains to clean them. So this is what's going on all over the world, while Leprechaun Ireland wants to go back to work. So fewer trains had been running in the overnight hours anyway, a spokesman said. But the shutdown allows for daily cleaning and for the city workers to move homeless people off to the streets and somewhere else where you can't see them. Jordan, the Silicon 19. The New York Police Department has assigned more than 1,000 officers to secure many of the system's 472 stations, as fewer than 200 can be locked up at the same time. Now, let's move over to Spain. And the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Wednesday that his government will declare a national state of mourning for more than 25,800 deaths. The European nation has suffered from the Silicon 19 I can't say the words, I'm not allowed. Sanchez appeared before Spain's parliament on Wednesday to ask for a fourth 2-week extension of the state of emergency that has allowed his government to apply a strict lockdown that has resigned in a savage Silicon 19 outbreak. That's what's going on over in Spain as Europe slowly falls apart. It's the knock-on effect, we'll call it. Spain also says it appears they will have support despite losing the backing of the main opposition party. Now, the EU is forecasting a historic recession due to the impact of the Silicon 19. The bloc announced today. And Pablo Gentiloni, the European Commissioner for the Economy, says Europe is experiencing a shock since the Great Depression. Surprise, surprise. That's what we speak about here. The Great Depression. Spoke about it last week. And watch these words popping in. The Great Depression. Both the depth of the recession and the strength of the recovery will be uneven, conditioned by the speed which lockdowns can be lifted. The importance of services like tourism in each economy by each country's financial resources. Such difference poses a threat to the single market and the euro area, yet it can be migrated through decisive joint European action. And he finally went on to say, we must rise to this challenge. And the Spanish health authorities reported another 244 new deaths, over the previous 24 hours since yesterday, taking the toll of the fatalities to 25,857. Still lower than last year. Flu. The figures, which are in line with the overall slowdown of the outbreak in Spain, don't include thousands more who've died in nursing homes before they could be tested. The good old nursing home again pops up in every country. And Spain also reports that the total number of confirmed infections surpassed 253,000. Numbers, millions, thousands, numbers. And that's all we have to go on is numbers. Now, I'm sure people are probably waiting on a little bit of Dublin news. Well, today's news in Dublin is probably the two biggest muppets that work on the talk shows in Dublin radio. Adrian being one. That's probably clown of the year. And the other clown is on in the afternoon from 12 o'clock. And we'll call them Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Now, the one in the morning time is probably the biggest brown nose you know what that works on this particular radio station. And today, he's talking to barbers wanting to know how are they going to cut people's hair with social distancing. Anyway, nothing about numbers. We don't want to know about the numbers. Anyway, the guy doing the show, he should be sacked. And he should be put onto the Comedy Channel as a talk host fool. Let's move to Germany now. And Chancellor Angela Merkel is meeting Wednesday, today, with the governors of the country's 16 states to discuss further loosening the restrictions imposed to curb the Silicon-19 that's right. Now, we're into the last 3 minutes. With the number of the new cases in Germany averaging around 1,000 in recent days. 1,000 to 3,000, 8,000. Pressure to relax the rules further has grown because people are sick of it. Business leaders in particular have warned that the economy could suffer long-term damage from the prison lockdown, which has been light compared to some other European countries. Belarus, Iceland, Sweden. Never even heard of it. The German media reported Wednesday that a draft plan would give states significant room to reopen all schools, hotels and restaurants, but require them to clamp down swiftly on any big outbreaks. And that's what everybody is doing in Germany. Now, before we go, and I have to thank everyone for sending over the messages. Tomorrow we'll do all the messages. Today we'd be running out of time. But before we go, the final story is from that country, China. And China is aiming to complete work on its space station within about 2 years, officials says, after a launch of their new spacecraft yesterday. Another one gone up. The country launched a new rocket from the Renchang Launch Center with an unmanned spacecraft and a return capsule. The launch was successful, the Chinese says, and the Manned Space Agency said yesterday that an experimental spacecraft and capsule separated from the rocket to enter orbit. Now, they went on to say that the capsule is reportedly based on the former Soviet Union Soyuz model and can carry 6 astronauts rather than 3. China eventually plans to send 4 crew space members on missions and cargo craft to complete work on its new space station that they're building. So now you'll have all these different space stations flying around up in space, and nobody ever asks the question, will they crash into each other? Nobody says nothing about all the rocket launches since the 24th of March. Hope you enjoyed this. See us.